how big mentally is this for Real Madrid right now? Because they're about to go up. I mean, can we say Bayern Munich is the best team in the world right now?
And Arsenal.
I would say so.
And Arsenal.
I would put Bayern.
So Real Madrid is getting ready to go up against one of the two best teams in the world in Bayern Munich. How big of a blow is this for them mentally?
I would be worried for Real Madrid, especially given the manner of that performance and the way that they conceded. Eduardo Camavinga was really poor yesterday. Real Madrid have had issues in midfield all season, and it seems to continue. They haven't figured out the right mix. They don't really have a controller. They haven't quite been able to sort out what that kind of build-up process is, who is going to dictate the pace of the game. And Alvaro Arbeloa made a key mistake yesterday to give away a goal. He's been criticized off and on throughout this season, but they just have not hit on the right ingredients in midfield specifically. That would worry me a lot going against this finely tuned Bayern Munich side.
Listen, Real Madrid, I think, has this aura perspective that you can never ignore. But there's also something about Alvaro Arbeloa that you can't ignore, is that he's lost a lot in this short time.
Yeah.
And Xabi Alonso lost just as much, but with more games, right?
So 6 in 37, and Arbeloa's 5 in 18, I think.
Wow. I wonder what the players are thinking about Arbeloa at the moment. I don't think there's been anything that has leaked out to the media that has me concerned about a lost dressing room or anything, but I genuinely put myself in the players' shoes. They must be thinking, we got rid of Xabi Alonso to just be in this situation again. And perhaps it's kind of like grass is always greener on the other side type of thing, because for sure with Xabi Alonso they were saying, oh, we want to move on from here.
If I'm Perez, I'm saying, well, you got yourself into this. You get yourself out of this. You're so clever. You got rid of a potentially fantastic manager. There you go.
Yeah.
All yours.
So,
equally though, I worry more about them defensively. I know you talked. I know the midfield is part of the defence, but those goals were so awful. It was like schoolboy defending.
And guess what? Bayern scores a lot of goals.
For fun.
Yeah.
For fun. Yeah.
Okay, you could say, didn't start Vinny, didn't start Jude. I know Jude hasn't played a lot of football of late. I do think they can step up. They can step. Maybe.
I think they will in the Champions League, but
maybe their mind sneak up were their minds on Champions
League? It shouldn't be, because with this loss, Barca creeped closer to the title. My question is, have we seen enough football from Real Madrid to convince you wholeheartedly that they can beat Bayern?
Well, look, they destroyed Manchester City. Now, I know Bayern are better than Manchester City, so you just can never write Real Madrid off.
Never. But because
in my brackets, I had Man City going through, so show them.
Yeah.
You too.
I'm at a conundrum right now with Real Madrid, because yes, of course you can never write Real Madrid off, but there's something from the way that I'm watching them play football and the way that I'm watching Bayern play football that, to me, tells me that
it's literally the Real Madrid conundrum, because you watch their form before a Champions League match. You watch how porous they are defensively. You watch how they don't seem to have a plan, but
Aaron,
then they hear the anthem and everything changes.
In those conundrums that we had before, I don't know if they were particularly conundrums. I think, look at that run against in that Champions League where they beat Chelsea, where they managed to get a last-minute result against PSG, against Bayern. They had a balanced football team.
But they always have questions. That's the thing. There are always legitimate questions.
But I don't know if we walked into those matches,
or if it's here.
I don't know if we walked into those matches saying this Real Madrid side is unbalanced. It's not sustainable. I think there were moments where their backs were against the wall at the Bernabeu, where they were trailing by a goal against Manchester City, against Bayern, and they flipped the script in 1 second because they have good footballers. And they have an unbalanced team. They're not as good as they were before.
Quick segue. Do we think Real Madrid now only focus on the Champions League? Is it definitely down Barcelona?
That's a good question.
It could come down to the Clásico, correct?
Yeah.
Not even.
Even
the swing
that,
is a 7-point swing.
Yeah. I don't think they can completely throw it away.
Are you saying Barcelona, it's done and dusted, forget it?
No, I don't think it's done and dusted. I don't think they can completely focus on Champions League. I don't think they can just throw away the league yet. It's a couple more matches before I think they're like, all right, we can let it go.
My only question mark, Barcelona, they've got some. The only points they've dropped have been away from home. They've won every game at home. Is that, you know, they've got to go to some tough places on the road.
Yeah.
And if they're deep into the Champions League, if I'm a bookmaker, I'm not paying out yet.
So they're just one goal away now from tying the record that they themselves set in the 1971-72 season by scoring 101 goals for the most goals scored in a Bundesliga season. So one away, two would break it, and they still have 6 matches remaining.
So, mind you, these are most goals scored in a Bundesliga season by all Bundesliga teams, not just Bayern, but Bayern have
dominated
the top
1 from 5
in that category. Pretty impressive.
One of the least surprising things I think I've ever seen.
It's not shocking at all, and they've gotten very, very close to it. I mean, how do you expect Bayern Munich to come into this one? We're talking about it like Real Madrid. Despite maybe how poor they can be at times in La Liga, they show up for Champions League, and they definitely showed up, as we said, against Manchester City. How do you see them, Bayern Munich, showing up in this one?
This Bayern Munich side are a completely team. We talk about how imbalanced Real Madrid is. It's the opposite for Bayern. They have figured out the balance. I've been really, really impressed with Vincent Kompany by the way that he's been able to bring stability defensively, but also keep the freedom in this team. They score so many goals. They play a beautiful brand of football, and they get goals from all over the place. Obviously, Harry Kane is filling the stat sheet up, but they have a lot of different goal scorers. He's worked in young players. They have a Tom Bischoff, 20-year-old left back who played in their last match. Leonard Carl
was probably the best player twice.
He was fantastic.
Probably the best player against Freiburg.
100%. And they've worked in Pavlovic in midfield. He's been really, really good for them this year. They're a complete team, but then you have to say it's Champions League. So this will be a tight match. There's no doubt about it. It's going to be a ton of fun. I wonder what version of Real Madrid are we going to get, because you absolutely never know.
Well, it looks as though Kane is fit. The one question I was going to ask, and you watch them a lot, do Bayern Munich have a weakness?
I don't think I could really pick out a glaring
Where
weakness.
could Real Madrid get at them? I think they're sensational.
Their individual quality would be the thing. Vinny Jr. running in behind, he has the pace to do that, to take players on one-on-one. I think it will come down to a moment of individual brilliance from this Real Madrid team, and that's always what happens with them. They've got the quality to do it. They look like they're down and out so many times, but if Vinny Jr. decides to have a day, if Brahim Diaz decides to have a day, it doesn't matter who it is. They have those players who are set up for this and love these moments. It'll come down to a moment of individuality, though, because this Bayern team are so well organized for me.
Nico, you think this is the least predictable match in Champions League quarterfinals when you take a look at all the 4 different matchups that we're having?
Barca
Atleti is also a really hard one for us to predict.
Very unpredictable.
Yeah, well,
I think that one's more even arguably than this one.
Barca Atleti, you think?
Yeah. Thanks for watching this video from Morning Footy. For all news and insights regarding leagues around the world like EFL, Serie A, and all UEFA competitions, both men's and women's, don't forget to sign up for Paramount Plus.